If you believe in the future of digital advertising, and you should, because 50% of television advertising has already shifted to digital and continues to accelerate, then you're going to love discovering Kidoz in this interview. And that's because Kidoz is the absolute leader in child-safe mobile advertising. How big are they? Almost 5,000 apps around the world are using Kidoz to reach over 400 million kids. They're working with top brands like Disney, McDonald's, Hasbro, Lego. You can imagine they're an app, so they're a trusted partner of both Apple and Google. And revenue growth from 2017 at $1.9 million to this year, 2023 fiscal, where I know we're in 2024, $13.3 million. So they're not just talking a big game, they're walking a big game. And that's what we're here to talk about. Jason, welcome back, my friend.
Thank you, George. Great to be here.
$13.3 million US, by the way, for all our Canadian fans who are watching.
Correct.
Do your own math at home as to what that turns into Canadian dollars. That's a number every small cap company would kill for, especially in this environment. How are you guys able to pull off such a monster number?
Thanks. Yeah, no, we're proud of how we're doing as a team. We've got a great, group of staff here that's executing on our kind of three pillars, which is technology, operations, and sales commercial. And we're firing on all cylinders. And I'm very proud of what we've achieved. I think, though, to your question, how did we do it? We're delivering great media, great value with great service on a great platform to our partners, and they're spending more.
Essentially, you're a trusted. It's one thing for Agoracom to run ads in general on Google to try and attract clients, right? It's quite another if I'm George Com Toys and I want to get my message in front of a younger audience. That's
Right.
not so easy, right, Jason? And that's where you guys differentiate.
It's not easy, no. The companies, all of them, who want to reach under 13s because of the decline of linear television do not have a lot of options. And so they look to YouTube, but even there's question marks about what audience is watching most times. Whereas in kids apps, it's kids playing. And so we're a trusted source. Kids love to play their games, and we're delivering them video and rich media in those favorite games at really high quality, great performance, and it works.
Yeah, and the ultimate validator for that is your $13.3 million in revenue, because there are a lot, George Com Digital. I could say I've got this platform and I put into mobile apps and try and do what you do, but
Sure.
the revenue really proves that the market looks to you guys. Why they look to you, Jason, as opposed to George Com Digital campaigns?
Well, they're looking to us, I mean, because they know the audience is there, and they've tested the platform and it's worked for them. I think what's interesting and that we're going to see more in 24 and in the future is that mobile games as a category is really starting to catch fire within the agencies who ultimately hold the brand's money. And so, a lot of people, I mean, I'm living in London currently. You ride any transport, you see half the people playing games at all times. And you see this everywhere. And it's just the way it is. The numbers behind gaming usage across every single demographic, and kids probably number one, are incredibly high. And brands know this, and agencies who, have been a little bit slower at times, they get attached to certain channels, are starting to say, wait a minute, this is high performance media. This is where the people are. We need to go there. And they're starting to put more and more money behind it.
And I'm not going to ask for specific, click-through rates or all that kind of stuff, but how good is the performance? And so here's George, here's little George, he's 11 years old, and I'm playing a
Right.
game, and I see a message for, Jason Toys or whatever the case may be.
Sure.
How, generally speaking, how much better is that performance versus other
Yeah,
comparables out there?
multiples better. So what the
Wow.
video unit that you get in Kidoz advertising is a 30-second no skip video. And so these have completion rates anywhere from kind of the mid 80s to the 90s. So that's the percentage of people that start an ad that finish the ad. And so that's very high in digital advertising. Most orders that would come in for a standard digital advertising video unit would say minimum of 70% completion rate. And we're kind of in the mid 80s to 90s on the completion rate. So you're getting great performance and attention from the people who are viewing these ads. And then what's interesting too is that another key metric is the amount of clicks. So how much traffic does the media generate? And because the users are playing games, they're comfortable touching the screen, whereas in most other mediums, people don't want to touch the screen because it will interfere with their content. So they're
I'm watching
comfortable
a
touching the
YouTube
screens.
video about something and
Yeah,
I
you don't
don't
want
want
to
to
touch it.
click out somewhere else.
Exactly. So YouTube's going to get under 1% click rate, and we're getting in the neighborhood of 5, 6, 7%. So 5 to 8 times more clicks than a YouTube.
I gotta find a way to sell some kind of a toy or a
Right.
gimmick or a stuffed animal of some kind.
Yeah.
Because
No, I
if
mean,
you can get
we're
those
building
click-through
it.
rates, I can build an entire business around that.
Yeah, no, and lots of people do. And we know that the people are there. And another great fact that we're seeing too is that like through different types of tracking software, you can see the attention that people are paying to types of ads. And gaming ads are actually at the top of the pile now because people are holding their device, it's close to their eyes. Whereas on YouTube, sometimes you're watching, sometimes you're not. An ad comes up, you might check a different device and do something. Whereas when you're gaming, you're very engaged. And so
Yes.
when that ad comes up, you're going to spend that 30 seconds just watching the ad. It's the highest attention grabber of the media types as well. So that's starting to get the agency attention.
Now you had a fantastic year in 20 for fiscal year 2023. Now we're talking about
Thank you.
2024. And here's the quote, because you see 2024 being even stronger. And here's your quote. The company continued to invest through 2023, increasing its overall staff, adding 7 new sales partnerships throughout the world in anticipation of growth in 2024 and future years as mobile digital advertising continues to develop. What kind of, I'm not going to ask for projection because you haven't put one out there, but how
Sure.
much stronger, give us an idea of why you think 2024 is going to be even stronger than a great year in 2023.
Yeah, so 2024, we're confident is going to be a record. So that I'm putting that out there. We're going for record territory in 2024. First of all, because, we're in April now, we've got good signals from the market. And so we've got that. Second of all, in 2023, we made some strategic shifts in the way that the selling was going and the way that the demand, as we call it here in the advertising business, was coming in. And those disrupted some of the flows in 2023. It's still a good year, but could have, we had to make some changes. And the way that those changes have been done, we're seeing them flow really nicely. And we're just gearing up now to get into the busy season. And the team is already feeling like it's the busy season. So, we're very confident in multiple channels showing record numbers. And I think another aspect, two other aspects actually. One I spoke about before, where the agencies are starting to bite harder and take off more of this type of media. And another one is that sales partners who have built a reputation on our media are able to really roll with that reputation now because it is delivering so well. We don't drop balls. The performance is always good. And so those orders are increasing in size and scale and frequency. So I'll add all those up and we're gonna have a record.
So, in addition to your own internally created tailwinds, because that's you guys, taking
Yeah,
control of your direction and adding some
correct.
tailwind for growth. You've also got a couple of externals. So, first of all, let's talk about macro. No matter what, we've kind of touched on it. More and more people, especially young people, are turning their attention to digital versus TV. How is
Right.
that? But TV still, I mean, I don't know about kids, but the Super Bowl wasn't too long ago. You still see that
Yeah.
TV plays an important role. How is that tug of war going between TV and digital? I think inevitably digital is obviously going to win, but how
Yeah.
is that tug of war going and how is that helping you? Because just that natural transfer just adds more business to you.
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, it is a tug of war, and digital has won the lion's share of that budget away from TV already. But, there are still, I was speaking with a group just the other day, and they're spending, several million still on TV as of 2023, but they've said, oh, you know what? It's over for us now. We're moving all to digital. So where are we going to put this? And so we're still seeing flows come off of TV because the returns just aren't there the way they were, and the audience isn't there. And so now they're having to listen to the advice of agency and planners and put the money where the audience is. And for us and for kids, people trying to reach kids, that's one of our key areas, and that what they need to do. So we're seeing that benefit. And so, like you say, the tug of war, digital's winning and will win, and we continue to win. And I think most of it's come, but there's still another probably 20 to 25% of it still to come off.
It's funny when you say that, the TV side, the return isn't there for them anymore. I'm
Right.
even wondering, how do they even know how bad it is? Because with TV, you really don't have a way to measure it. Nowhere near as specific as you can be on George's campaign. Like, George, you had this
Sure.
many watches for this long, this many
Yeah.
click throughs, bang. TV, is that just old habits die hard? Because
It is.
that to me would seem like it's
They
pretty
try and
difficult to
map
measure now.
back to sales data as much as they can. And so, when campaigns used to go live on TV, they would see uplifts in sales, and they don't see that anymore. So they have to be more nimble and more varied, and have a good mix and a good kind of strategy on sales and digital sales. And, it's more complicated for them, but we're one of those tools in the toolbox that they should rely on, and what the big guys are doing, and the little guys too, and it works for them.
So to be clear for everyone at home, that big chunk of advertising George Com Toys is still doing on TV, you're hearing is going to find its way to digital because it's almost over.
Oh yeah.
That's just a huge bump without you doing anything. That's just,
Well,
hey,
that and that,
Jason, we've had so much success with you. We're gonna allocate more dollars to you. So
yes,
let's talk about a program.
that's what we see year over year, and it's at least got, you know 2 to 3, maybe 4 more years of flows off of TV. And so we've got that bumper of digital just growing, and us in the right place and being the leading supplier. And so that is one of the things just floating the business. We don't even have to win away from competitors, and we
No,
believe we're
that
doing
must
that
be
as well.
nice. Well,
Yeah,
we've
no, for
seen
sure.
some of the biggest companies in the world. That's how Google grew, right? Let's face it. That's how
Right,
Google just grew from this transfer. Obviously, it had a superior product, but just people were transferring money away from newspapers, magazines, TV, radio,
right.
and saying we got to go Google. So the same kind of
It's very
effect. Not that
similar.
we're not trying to tell everyone you're going to be Google, but that's the same
No.
kind of effect. You're sitting there wait to catch these dollars. The second
Yeah,
thing
and
is
we're
the
doing
oh,
that.
good. You're going to say something. Go ahead, Jason.
No, I was just gonna say we're doing that, and we're capturing that. I mean, both in the kids business and in our non-kids kind of focus, we're championing mobile games, because mobile games is a massive category that's been hugely underlooked, and brands need to be there. Brands should have 3 pillars. It should be YouTube, it should be social, and it should be mobile games, because mobile games is the top of the gaming pillar. Social, you got your Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Roll that out to some other video channels, but YouTube's important. And we see mobile games, and brands are starting to see them as top 3 pillar.
The second tailwind you have come in your favor, we've touched on this before, so just do a quick recap, but is the law. The law is getting
True.
much stricter on traditional advertising networks and the kind of ads they can put in front of kids, especially. How
Right.
has that continued to advance, if at all, since we last spoke,
Yeah,
or the
no,
last year?
I mean, I would say the main aspect there is that the risk, brands are not comfortable with the risk that brings, and so they know that they have to be on compliant channels, and Kidoz, being a leader within this space, is a top compliant channel. And so we definitely see large brands who are core advertisers saying, we need to do more, we want to connect differently, we want to grow our business, and we trust you because you're a qualified provider that's always been good service and transparent with us, and how can we take this kind of to the next level? And so that's what we're focused on, and that's a great way for us to build both trust and growth.
Question for you. Just kind of think about this out of the blue. The revenue you're doing is tremendous. But having said that, you're talking about the total advertising market out there. If you just talk about North America's hundreds
Sure.
of billions of dollars, right? Are you just one phone call away, or am I being unrealistic? And I just want to ask, but are you just one phone call away from a major brand calling you up and saying, "Hey, kiddos, we're gonna dump this much spend on you guys, 10, 20 million, 30 million, which is still a drop in the bucket for them." Is that realistic? Is that the way is that how the world works? Or is it
I
more
think
just
it's
always going to be
realistic.
incremental, incremental, incremental?
No, I think it's realistic because I mean, they would probably, it wouldn't be going from 100 to 300 to 500,000. It would be, okay, here's 1 million. Oh, actually, that worked great. Here's 5. And it would grow in that way. And I think that it is very realistic because, like I say, this is a pillar channel of marketing and advertising, and it has so much capability and so much power that it is being underlooked. And if you're talking to brands who are spending 100 or 200 or 3 or 400 million dollars in advertising, then to say, hey, kiddos, here's 5 or 10 is not unrealistic at all, especially if we're looking at, we are a global company and we reach kids globally and they have their products globally. So it makes sense. And we're here building, we've invested another $3 million in our technology last year. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, every year that we can put non-capitalized technology into our company year after year with high quality engineers and leadership, we're going to be coming out the other side with some pretty cool machines that offer great value and great media and can make a great business behind. So we're very proud of that.
Can't all be upside. There's no business in the world that has all upside. I don't care who you
Sure.
are. I don't care if you're Google or if you're Exxon.
Yeah.
Look, Google was late with their Gemini AI application. Their
Right.
AI model at the end of the day, like by a year. So sometimes it doesn't matter all the resource you have, things don't go perfect. So having said that, devil's advocate, what are some of the hurdles and challenges you face? Is there screaming competition
Yeah.
coming from
The
GeorgeCom,
biggest
who's going to
challenge
launch some
actually,
app inside of?
No, we're not too worried about that because we're far enough along on the technology that we know our position is strong and it's close to impossible to kind of take us over in this area where we're strong. I think the biggest challenge is pushing through the agency conversations who are holding big budgets and they've made maybe commitments to other channels or positions, and Kidoz is doing great, but we're still not, the biggest kid on the block, and we're not a global advertising company. And so we don't have these deep agreements with agencies to spend hundreds of millions of dollars. And so, it's harder to kind of break through into the budgets in that area. And so as things evolve, I think that, we'll get there. But that's our biggest challenge for 24 and pushing into 25 is to become relevant to the larger agencies who make the ultimate decision.
Yeah, and you guys have already made headway there, right? Because I know in the past you've talked about
For sure.
having a lot of direct meetings with the agency. So it's just a case of
Yeah,
the first nut cracking, and then the rest
it's
will
true.
probably follow.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like you want to come at it from multiple angles. So you want to have the brand excited, you want to get them, talk to the agency, maybe talk to 5 people from the agency. And so you have to just come at it from every angle, just keep knocking on doors, and the quality and that's rises to the top because not everybody can offer such great quality in the media. And that makes the difference at the end of the day.
And not every small cap can offer $13.3 million US in revenue and have it to be a slight down year actually from the year before and
True.
still point to most likely you called it here. You're calling for a record year in 2024,
That's the plan.
which is going to be great to watch. But congratulations, Jason. You almost look. I know how difficult it is to hit these kind of numbers because we're in the same business, generally speaking,
Sure.
and that's a great number, especially in the industry you're playing in. And can't wait to see what else you have because you're always back on. I can't wait to have you back on for the next big milestone.
Thank you, George. Great to see you.
For everybody at home, you've been watching or you've been listening by podcast on Spotify, Google, Apple, your favorite podcast platform. To Jason Williams, he's the CEO at Kidoz. The company trades in Canada, KIDZ. Got to love that symbol. And for our friends in the US, KDOZF. For those new to the story, but you're wondering, who are these guys doing 13.3 million US in top line revenue? I got to find out more. Get to the profile page on Agoracom because we give you a good 30,000 foot overview about the company, generally speaking. And then once you got that under your belt, head over to the company's website, do your deep dive due diligence, and hopefully today you discover your next great small cap tech company. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. See you next.
Hey Small Cap fam, I hope you loved this interview because more than a dozen people were involved in its production for the sole purpose of making you happy. If so, can you take a moment to support both our awesome guest company and Agoracom? Your engagement means the world to us. First, if you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up by tapping that like button. It's a small gesture that helps this interview reach even more potential investors to discover today's guest. Second, we would love to hear your feedback on this interview, so please leave a comment below. Be sure to keep it clean, but feel free to poke fun at George. If you loved what you heard on today's video and want to dig into our guest company right away, take a look at the links in the description below. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to never miss another great Agoracom small cap video. Thank you so much. We couldn't do any of this without you. Make sure to come back soon.